Hey everyone, it's Miranda. Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, hey, for the first time, subscribe, become a member of the Slashed Squad. Here I review products you won't feel guilty buying and do looks you can actually recreate at home. Today I'm very excited because E.L.F. sent me a package with their brand new Beauty Shield collection, everything except one product, so I'm going to be able to give you a really good feel for this collection and what I think about it. It is the latest branch off of their skincare line. The Beauty Shield collection consists of 7 new products in the initial launch. I have 6 of them to share with you today, and the whole premise behind the Beauty Shield line is to protect your skin against environmental stresses. So we have a lot of prep products in this collection, but you can use them at night or morning. And as I go through my little mini reviews of each product, I will also tell you in which order you should be using them according to the brand. So based on the brand's recommendation, you would start out obviously by cleansing, and while there is no cleanser in this particular collection, there is a cleansing brush. So this is the Dual Defense Cleansing Facial Brush, and this is a kind of revamped version. I know they already have a cleansing brush like this available, but this is different because not only do you have the soft bristles, but you are also getting silicone bristles on the inside to really get a deep clean, a face massage, and a good lather. The other cool thing about this brush is that it has a scoop on the handle, which is great for using with products that are stored in jars. Personally, I'm not a fan of products that are stored in jars because of the fact that I have to dip my fingers in and you have a lot more of a chance of cross-contamination. So this is kind of like a 2-in-1 tool. And then you are supposed to wash the brush head about once a week to stay sanitary. And it does come with this little cover/stand. So you just slip it on over the brush here so it protects the bristles from being touched directly. But it also works as a stand like this, as it is flat on the bottom, so you can let the brush drip dry. Something to note though, you cannot remove the brush head. So this is the full tool in one piece. So once the brush starts getting a little bit worn, which will probably be, if you're using this every day, maybe like 3 to 4 months, you will have to replace the whole tool. The next product that E.L.F. suggests that you use after cleansing is the Beauty Shield Vitamin C Pollution Prevention Serum. This vitamin C serum costs $16, and you do really get this updated, almost luxury packaging. E.L.F. is definitely stepping up their game in their skincare lines with just this really prestige looking packaging, and you do get this really trendy pump style applicator, drop style applicator rather, where you pick it up and it's like a little dropper tool and you expel the product by pushing down on the top. So this serum contains vitamin C, E, and pomegranate extract, and I will say that it does not have a really discernible scent. Some of the products do in this line, I'll get into that a little bit later, but this one does not. Also, it is extremely lightweight. If serum scares you, like the word serum scares you like it does me, sometimes I feel like serums are heavy, or that's like the first thing that comes to mind when I hear the word serum. This is so lightweight, it just absorbs into your skin super quickly and you're not left with any type of film or residue. So this is a great layering product, and this particularly is supposed to help you even out skin tone as well as fight fine lines. And on top of that, just like the rest of the line, using vitamin C is going to help protect your skin against environmental stresses. Next up in the Beauty Shield regimen is the SPF 50 Skin Shielding Moisturizer. I love that the products in this line that do contain SPF, it's SPF 50, so you are getting a very good amount of protection on your skin. So this moisturizer goes for $12 and it contains carrot seed oil, sunflower seed oil, and vitamin C. Now I know I just mentioned a couple oils. I will say as a combo skin girl, I don't feel like this is too oily or too heavy for me. Again, you do have a pretty lightweight hydration going on here, which is nice for layering, especially if you're layering all these at once. You're not gonna end up with like a ton of heaviness on the face. Now, something that may or may not be a draw for you is that this is a tinted moisturizer and it's not labeled as such, and I didn't even know that until I pumped it out. Now, this tint is said to be universal, but I'm lucky with the fact that it is kind of close to my natural skin tone. I believe they say it's universal because it does sheer out as you rub it in, but I feel like it does actually add a little bit of coverage. So on a darker skin tone, darker than myself, or maybe even a super pale skin tone, I'd be very curious to see if it would like have a cast over the face. So there you can see the tint of the moisturizer, and then as I rub it in, it starts shearing out. And I am in front of a window right now, so you're seeing this in natural light. You can see the radiance it gives and the little bit of coverage, but you can see that it definitely sheared out. It didn't add like a ton of coverage, but I would be a little bit concerned if I had darker skin tone, just to see what it would look like. So going back to the oils in it, I just want to show you, like, you obviously get that radiance on the skin, but you're not feeling oily. And I have combo skin, and this doesn't make me feel like I get any shinier throughout the day. If you have oily skin, I would just say proceed with caution, but I feel like this is lightweight, that it still might work for you. I've used other e.l.f. products that do contain oil, and they have always felt a little too heavy for me. This is the first one where I don't feel it immediately on my face where I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a problem later, you know what I mean? Next up in the recommended Beauty Shield routine is the SPF 50 Skin Shielding Primer. This is definitely one of the standouts from this collection for me. This is the one that I've been using every day since it showed up on my doorstep, and this is another one with a universal tint. So whether or not that prevents you from using it, I would definitely just try it out. I have seen a few reviews with people saying that it does sheer out enough that it works on their skin tones that are a little bit darker than me. I don't know about deep skin tones. I really cannot say confidently that this won't look a little bit ashy on you, just because I notice coverage on myself. So I don't know how that would work. You really just have to work at shearing it out. But again, this is SPF 50, so if you're layering the moisturizer and this, you are definitely getting an adequate amount of skin protection throughout the day. Plus, you're getting the antioxidants that protect your skin in other ways against like sun damage, etc. So this is in general just a great line if you're worried about skin exposure but you want to use products that will also support your makeup routine. Again, I'll just pump a little bit on the back of my hand, and you can see that tint is pretty similar to mine, and I do feel that this adds a little bit of coverage for me, so that way my foundation has a really great base to go off of, so that I'm not layering and layering to cover up problem areas. I will say though that it is a very dimethicone feel to it, and I know some people love that feel, some people hate that feel, so I did want to mention that. On top of this primer, my foundation blends out really smoothly, and I would say even more so than other primers that I had been using, and I am actually noticing more of my foundation staying on till the end of the day. How I'm noticing that is usually when I take a makeup wipe to my face at the very end of the day, there's actually not that much of my foundation that's coming off, because a lot of it has either rubbed off with contact if I'm like, you know, leaning on my hand, or just has faded away. When I'm wearing this and my foundation, when I take a makeup wipe to my face at the end of the day, there's actually a lot of foundation left. So that has just been kind of a visual cue that this is doing its job. Plus the fact that it is adding the tint too, so even if my foundation starts to fade, this is adding a little bit of tint so that my problem areas still stay relatively concealed. So this primer again is $12, and we do have a very convenient pump applicator, which just makes it a lot easier to use. Now the next step in the recommended Beauty Shield regimen is the makeup mist, and that is the one product that I don't have, but it is a refreshing mist that costs $8. I have been using makeup mists a little bit more recently in my routine, especially after moving to a dry climate. So if you're interested in that, you can check it out. I will still leave the link below, but that is one that I don't have and I can't really talk about. Next up though is the Big Kahuna. This is the one that sold out immediately, and it's probably the one product out of this line that everyone is like going bonkers over, and that is of course the Recharging Magnetic Mask. Now, I don't want to call this a dupe just because I haven't tried the high-end one, so I really can't say whether or not it's comparable, but there is a magnetic mask by Dr. Brandt that is sold at Sephora for $75. This one's $25. So if you were interested in the whole magnetic mask craze, definitely a more budget-friendly version. But with that said, just a side note, if you've been listening to all the prices of these products, you will notice that e.l.f. is getting a little bit more pricey with their skincare. And they're obviously, you know, stepping up their game in terms of packaging and in terms of innovation and kind of staying up with the trends, especially with this magnetic mask. But I feel like they're also kind of cornering their audience, because there are definitely people who turn to e.l.f. because they know that the products are going to be good but really cheap, and this is kind of getting into that mid-tier territory. So, you know, just a little aside. But anyway, this is what a lot of people are curious about, so I wanted to take a little bit of extra time to talk about this. So this product is a face mask that you can either use before bed or as a makeup prep step. There's like a little protective top here, so let me just open that and show you what it looks like inside. As you can see, the mask is a dark gray color, almost like a charcoal mask. However, there's no charcoal in this, so don't be confused. This does include carrot seed oil, sunflower seed oil, vitamin C, vitamin E, and argan oil. This mask is designed to lift impurities from the skin as well as minimize the appearance of pores. Plus, you're going to get that support against the environmental stress with all of those nourishing oils. So the entire kit comes with the mask itself as well as the magnetic tool. So this is imperative to taking off the mask. This is not a rinse off mask, it is a magnetic pull off mask. On the other end of this tool, you also get a scoop, which is going to keep the mask clean and contamination free. So you can use this to scoop the product out as well as apply it to the face. This kit comes 20 tool covers. So it's really important before you use the tool to take off the magnetic mask to put a cover on top of it. And you can see me doing that here. And the reason for this is that this is a very strong magnet. It is designed to lift the face mask clean off your face with no residue. So if you use this without a protective cover, it's going to be really hard to try to like rinse the mask off of it. So I've used this mask a few times, and I did it again this morning before my makeup, and I filmed that for you so you can kind of see the process. So first I use the tool to scoop out the product and then just apply it directly to the face. I feel like this is the easiest mess-free way to apply this product. Then you let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. Sometimes I go 15, just depending. And I will say that there's not so much a tingling sensation as there is just a little bit of heat under the mask on your face. So once you're ready to take the mask off, all you got to do is slip on the protective cover onto the magnetic tool and hover the tool over your face, and you'll start to see the mask literally just fly off of your face, leaving absolutely no residue. And this is what it looks like once you start collecting the mask onto the tool. It's just really, really neat. I can't get over how cool the entire process is. It's actually very fun, and it's super mess-free, which I really appreciate because that's definitely something that sometimes prevents me from using a mask, just because I don't want to deal with the whole goop on the hands, goop on the face, rinse off the goop, etc. So with the magnet, when you're taking off this mask, there's like zero residue left, which is very impressive. When you feel your skin, it's immediately softer than a baby's bottom. And I don't know what a baby's bottom feels like, but if I could imagine it, it would be how my face felt after using this. I can probably count the amount of face masks on one hand that have like immediate results that I could totally tell that it made a difference, and this is definitely one of them. Like I said, the magnetic mask kit comes with 20 of these protective covers. I don't know if that's to say that you're getting 20 applications in one jar, but what I will say is they don't sell these separately. While I believe they are designed for you to just pull off and throw away, there is a way that you can reuse these that I discovered by watching the Daily Bailey's YouTube channel. So what she recommended, and what totally worked when I tested it out, is once you are done taking the mask off your face, you can slip off the protective cover and then recover the tool with a tissue or toilet paper. Then you use the tool once more on the mask to take it off of the protective cover. And with that, you're left with a cover that is mask-free, mess-free, and ready to be reused again. That's just a little hack to get the most out of these. That way you don't run out, because you really shouldn't be using this tool without some kind of protective cover. But if you run out of these, then you could also use that idea just to take the mask off of your face in general. And as a last step to your Beauty Shield regimen, E.L.F. suggests the Massaging Overnight Recovery Cream. So I've been using this for about two and a half weeks now, and I really like it, but there are definitely some points that I want to touch on this. So again, this contains vitamin C, pomegranate extract, argan oil, and carrot seed oil, and it does have a slight scent. And the first thing that I thought of when I first put it on was kind of like orangey, like vitamin C made me think of orange, and that's kind of the citrusy smell that I'm smelling. But knowing that there's pomegranate in there, that it could also be that. But anyway, this moisturizer, again, is pretty thin. All of these products are very lightweight, even if they are meant to moisturize, and I think that is because they really do want you to be using these products together and layering. So it does make it very conducive to using them all at once without having a heavy feel on the face. Now with this moisturizer, the applicator itself is on the tube, and it has these 5 little roller balls that massage your face and massage the product into your skin. The roller ball head forehead does twist to an on and off position, so that way you don't have to worry about it exploding or accidentally coming out of the tube. But the massage is supposed to help your skin absorb the moisturizer more quickly and deeply. I will also say, and I don't want to attribute this totally to this, but usually when I travel, my skin freaks out, and sometimes I either break out or I get a lot of dry patches when I travel in between climates. And I just brought this on a trip and my skin did fine. And so I will say that that made a very good first impression for me. Now here's the thing. Some nights I like the rollerball and some nights I don't. Sometimes I just squeeze it out into my hand and put it directly on my face, and sometimes I actually use the rollerballs. I do like the rollerball on my cheek and my chin area. I don't like it so much on my forehead, obviously just because my forehead is hard. There's a bone there, and it doesn't really feel great with the rollerball. So what I'll usually do now that I'm kind of getting used to using this is I'll use the rollerball on my cheek and then just kind of dot it on my forehead and use my hands. And also something to note is I thought the rollerballs would just kind of blend the moisturizer in totally, but it doesn't really do that. It kind of spreads it all over the face, but you will still need to use your hands to get all of it in. So that is the E.L.F. Beauty Shield collection. It is now available on E.L.F.'s website. It'll probably be hitting their storefront soon, and then who knows about Target, they always take forever. But I will leave all the links below to the products that I talked about in the description as always. Let me know which of these products you are most curious about or which one you're most excited to try. If you liked this review, hit the thumbs up button. I will definitely do more reviews in the future if you let me know what you want me to try. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, become a member of the Slashed Squad. If you've done that, high five, hit the bell button so you know every time a new video goes live. I make new videos every Saturday, and I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!